Couldn't see you yet. Can you hear us? We should be able to. Can you hear us, anybody? Can you hear us? We should be able to. Can you hear us, anybody? If you're out there, we should be able to. Can you hear us, anybody? If you're out there, please say hello. Please say hello. Hello, guys. We are waiting for Jeremiah Pangan to come back in. He was in there, but for some reason we lost him. So hopefully you can get him back in here. We were ready to get him on. It says that it's not letting him get in there, but he was there already. So I'm not sure, but I'm very excited on our video for today. It's going to be about the SBA's economic injury disaster program. And we're going to be talking about that in detail. And we are going to be ready for your questions as well, too. If you know of any business owners, please tag them. And that way they can get value from this presentation that we have for you. I'm going to try to get this to all of the other groups out there that could be. Let's see, it says, oh, there he is. Yay. Let's see. You're like going on and off, Jeremiah.
Why?
There you are.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. But
okay,
what
sounds good.
Flickering thing? What is that flickering thing going on there?
I don't know.
Now you're off again.
Can you hear me though?
I can hear you just fine.
1 second, maybe
it's your camera?
I'm not sure if it's my camera or...
Yeah, we have some people on here now.
All right, well, I guess we'll just try, but I don't know why it keeps flickering. I tried it on my phone and it didn't connect, but it looks like that's it. It's good. Okay, so
yeah. Oh.
I don't know. I'm not really. Yeah, I'm not doing anything on my end.
I don't know what it is. So was this your phone or your laptop?
No, this is my Surface. Yeah, so this is a computer / tablet.
Okay, so it shows you and then we lose you.
Yeah, but I don't really know why it does that. So I mean, I'm not doing anything on my end. So as long as people can hear me, that should be okay.
Yeah. So this is also going to be recorded, so we can post it after our interview, and then some people may be able to may want to ask you more questions after this. So let's make sure that we can post your information so that they can reach out to you if they need to.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Be happy to help.
Yep.
All right, so
So
should we
this,
get started?
yes, we can get started.
I think
So
as long as there's audio, we should be okay.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, I see some people out there, and I don't see questions yet. But then I'll let you know once the questions come out.
That's fine. I mean, what I can do is I could just start talking about the CARES Act. You know,
Yeah,
basically what it is the
I was going to ask you, what is the
coronavirus.
CARES
So the
Act?
CARES Act, basically, it's a coronavirus aid relief economic security act. So basically, what they did is they provided a lot of relief, not just for individuals, but obviously a lot more for small business owners. And the loan side is kind of a lot more interesting stuff. So kind of just to give you a little bit of the gist on it, right? So as I'm not sure if people have seen it, but obviously people are gonna get stimulus checks, and that's the word that's been being thrown around right now. So just as far as the basic of that, if you make less than $75,000 as a single person, right, you're gonna get $1,200. If you file joint married individual, you make $150,000 less. Obviously, they're gonna send you a $2,400 check, and every dependent under 17 years old, you're gonna get $100. Right? These are all free money as a relief because a lot of people are losing jobs. Can you believe 6.6 million people have applied for unemployment now?
Right. It's like a million a day because it started with 2 million and then it
Yeah,
was three, then now it's six. So it's
it's
crazy.
it's
It's
it
crazy.
it's doubling, so it's very sad. So that's so basically that's the that's coming from the IRS, and obviously any checks that they receive, it won't be taxable. And at the same time, um what do you call this, people are asking me all the time, hey, I haven't filed my 2019. That's okay as long as you have your 2018. um and then at the same time, people are also asking that, hold on, I'm trying to switch. Also, people are asking if what do you
We're
call
seeing some jigsaw puzzles.
that? All right, I flipped the camera. There you go. I flipped the
Yeah,
camera. So
there we go.
that's
It's
better.
colored
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So
So here
much
you go.
better.
So yeah, I saw that it was just on a lower resolution. I don't know why it did that. Okay, there you go. So going back to my question, people are like, am I going to receive a check if I only have a 2000? I haven't filed my 2019. Yes, absolutely. You're going to receive a check if you filed your 2018. One of the questions that I've been receiving also is that, what if I have a lot of back taxes? I owe the IRS some money for the previous years of my return. You're also going to get some money. You don't need to worry about that, because I guess they realize that it's hard times right now, and they've been giving out some money. And although I don't think it's enough what they're giving out, but they are giving some free money, right? Those are the questions I get, and people are always asking also, if I am on Social Security and I'm retired, am I going to get a check? Yeah, you, even though you don't file a tax return, you are going to get a check.
That's awesome. There's
um,
also a question here from Victor Hurtado. If you are a
mhm.
college student who was claimed on their parents' taxes, no income, can you not file by yourself? No, huh? Yes.
Unfortunately, no. Unless he has any other income, then yeah, he'll get something. And I think his parents, if, like I said, if he's below 17, his parents are gonna get $500, but college students absolutely not.
Okay. All right. So what if if your income together as a couple was more than, what did you say was the limit?
150. So it starts
150.
phasing out, but if you hit $200,000, you get nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I guess if you hit $200,000, they think that you don't need any
yeah.
help, right?
You don't need any.
So that's a CARES Act. And so, can we go to the SBA Economic Injury Disaster?
so
Um,
so the CARES Act actually is included. What's included in it is what you call the. It has a like a small business, the Small Business Administration. Oh, are you still there? I think I lost you. Can you hear me? Sorry, I lost you there. You there? You back?
yes.
Okay. So a little bit on the. I'm not gonna go too much into detail because there's still a lot of
We're here.
limited. Okay, you guys
I
are
just
there.
put
Okay,
the
so
camera onto yours.
So there's a little bit of I wasn't sure because I lost audio. There's a lot of there's not a lot of guidance yet as far as the loans, but here's what's guaranteed. They're giving out $10,000, the SBA loans called the Economic Impact Disaster, the Small Business Administration loan. So it's kind of pretty cool because if you're self-employed or you did some gig economy type of work, or you're a sole proprietor, or anything like that, you could go ahead and go to the SBA loan slash coronavirus, put in your information. You just have to have been in business for the past
You turn
the
yourself
past year.
off, Jeremiah. Your camera is off.
It is. I could still
Yeah.
see myself.
Okay, let's see. There. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so now I only see myself, but that's okay. So as far as the SBA loans, right? So there's a EIDL, the Economic Impact Disaster Loan. So basically, all kind of businesses, doesn't matter. Even if you just did Uber or you were a full-time Uber, as long as you were in business for the past year, or you have been in business before January 30, 2020, full 2019, you could qualify for the loan, right? And the beauty of it is, even though you don't qualify for the loan, you can get a $10,000 forgivable loan, which they will basically, it becomes a grant if you use the $10,000 on qualifying expenses. Now, what are the qualifying expenses? Qualifying expenses could be your rent, right? Qualifying expenses could be your rent, your payroll, right? Or any fixed debt obligations that you have are qualified for you to for your $10,000 to be forgiven. Now that's one part. That's one part of the loan. The other part of the loan is what you call the PPP, which is basically payroll protection, something else. I forgot what it is, but you guys could just look it up. PPP. So they allow you to get a loan depending on your payroll. So it's for you to protect your payroll, and it also could be, it's also a non-recourse loan, so it could be forgiven as well. So those are the two benefits for small businesses. And then at the same time, if you're a small business and you're not able to do business, they open something that you can apply for an unemployment. This is really unbelievable stuff. So, but you just have to be able to prove that you're closing shop, you're closing your business, right? Hey, guess what? I can't stay afloat anymore. Even if I make money, I make sales, it's still more costly for me to go on operations or anything like that. You can go on unemployment, and it's an extended unemployment for at least 3 to 4 months, right? So those are the few things that they have as far as the economic stimulus package. Oh, also, I wanted to add, if you already have an existing SBA loan, a 504 loan, a 7A loan, a micro loan, you're forbearance. So you're basically in forbearance. You don't need to pay that for the next 6 months. So imagine that. It's tax-free. They're not going to take out on your bank account anymore.
So what about if I went over the application today because you told me to check it out. You already did an application, right? How long am I expecting an answer from them? Is that going to be through mail?
They don't really have any special guidance on that yet, but they say everything is going to start to roll out April 3rd. So that's tomorrow. And a lot of people have been applying since last week.
What's this million application limit that I'm hearing?
Is that the, well, that's only because there's such a limited budget on it. So as far as the loan package, not a lot of people are probably going to qualify. I'm not sure if this is the question they're asking, but not a lot of people are going to qualify on the loan. But one thing that's guaranteed, there people are still going to get the $10,000.
So if they apply and they don't qualify, they can still avail the $10,000, and that's the forgivable loan, right?
Correct. Yeah, and it's forgivable. It's only forgivable if you use it for qualifying expenses such as rent, payroll, and fixed debt obligations.
How would they know that? Is there a report that we need to do after?
I do not know that yet, but as far as, let's say you get the $10,000, just make sure you keep proper documentation that the money went to rent, payroll, or any fixed debt that you have in your business. But imagine if you just have an office for $1,500 and you have, $10,000. That $1,500 for the rest of the year, you could use that money to pay the office, and you could use the $10,000 that you had for rent to, you know,
Is
take
there
it
a
and use
number
it somewhere else.
of employees?
What was that?
Minimum number of employees.
So there's a number of employees depending on how big your company is. So there's one for less than 500 and there's one for less than 100. But those are the bigger loans. Those are actually the 7A loans. So I'm not gonna really discuss that because it kind of gets pretty complicated. If you have some people that are watching right now and they have less than 100 and less than 500 employees, they qualify for a lot more benefits on the stimulus package. Obviously, they want to explore the EIDL, they want to explore the PPP, and they may want to explore the 7A loan. And obviously, there's also employee retention tax credit, assuming they stayed in business. Those are the few things, if they didn't close shop and they still retain their payroll, they could qualify for all those things that, depending on the size of the company. Now, the one I'm talking about is really if you're a sole proprietor, you're a solo business owner, or you're a solopreneur, you're a consultant running your own business. The $10,000 is more for you. If you qualify for more loan, that's great. If you qualify, but just remember, if you do use the loan, the $10,000 is the one that could be forgiven. If you go use beyond that, assuming you needed more, it could still be forgiven. I believe they're forgiving up to $1 million. It just has to be there's just not enough guidance yet as far as what kind of expenses you can use.
What's the basic filing requirement?
For the EIDL,
Yeah.
if you've received 1099, if you receive 1099 from different vendors for the full year of 2019, or even in the past 2018. So that's why I'm saying if you're a full-time Uber driver, you qualify for this, because Uber drivers, or anybody in the gig economy, if you did some sort of consulting, but one of the most basic requirement is if you filed a Schedule C tax return for the past year, because essentially that's what makes you a sole proprietor, or what makes you a small business.
Okay. So is that different from there's that paycheck
Yeah,
or
that's the PPP.
program?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the one. So how is it different? Is it different application as well,
It
or
is.
just
It is. Yeah, the PPP is a different application also. It's just depending on the size of your company. So on top of the EIDL, on top of and also have the PPP, and then on top of the PPP, you have the actual SBA loans, which are the 7A, whatever it is that you're gonna qualify for. Because right now, there's no specific qualifications on what you can qualify for as far as your loans. The SBA is deciding that. But one thing that's guaranteed for now is the $10,000 cash advance.
I noticed in the application they ask what your gross income was from the
Yeah.
year prior to the January 31st, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that going to matter? Say if you make much or you make more, is that going to
Well,
be
so two questions to
significant?
that. One is they ask that because they want you to be consistent on what's filed on your tax return. So we're in the middle of April now. So assuming you have already applied filed your taxes. So whatever is reflected on your tax return, that should be your gross revenue, right? Number one. And then number two, the second answer to that is if you haven't filed your tax return, maybe you are on extension. They're hoping that you kept good books based on your bank statements, right? So technically or typically when we're a small business, you're supposed to have at least an accountant that keeps a full year profit and loss, right? Or you have a bookkeeper. So that's kind of depending on, what your revenue is. And if you don't, keep tracking that, just add up all your 1099s, and that's your gross revenue.
I have a question from Doreen Taylor. She said, "What if you're retired and don't file taxes?"
Yeah, so I did answer that earlier, and they just made an announcement this morning because it was confusing. If you're only on Social Security, so they're gonna look at what your Social Security is. They're gonna deposit the check based on what information you have on your Social Security Administration. You
Okay,
don't need to do anything at this point. You're good.
so you don't need to apply even.
No, you don't need to do anything. No, oh,
So
by the way, too, no one's gonna call you. No one's gonna, give you a call, or no one's gonna send you an email or a text message requesting it. There's no. I just got a warning this morning from Better Business Bureau. They said, "Hey, the imposters are at it again. The scammers are at it again."
Yeah.
Especially for senior citizens, right? They prey on them and making sure that the IRS will not verify any of your information. They will send the check depending on what's on your tax return or depending on what's on your Social Security Administration.
Yeah, it's in my blog yesterday, I believe I did a fraud alert on that one, because this is going to be the time when people are going to be receiving phone calls either from the
Yeah,
IRS,
yeah,
FTB, SBA, asking for all of these information,
yeah.
and they would never do that, you know.
They
So
never do that. The IRS will never call. The IRS will write to you, but the
mhm.
IRS will never call.
Yeah. So a lot of people are getting prey from these scams. So I'm telling them, please do not give them information. If they
Yeah,
initiate it, call them maybe because you're the one applying for such things. But if they call you and ask for that and at
yeah.
random, you can't even verify these people that you're talking to. Do not give them any information at
Do
all.
not. Yeah, absolutely not. And also, what they're doing too is saying, hey, if you want to receive your check faster, they're gonna charge you a fee. Do not believe in that. It's not it's not
Yeah,
gonna
don't
happen.
pay
Yeah,
anybody anything,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Don't
Because
give any. Yeah,
some of these people, they go to Western Union
yeah,
and, oh, you have to wire some type of money, or for in order for you to get your funds or access
yeah.
to
Don't fall
funds.
for it. Don't fall
Yeah,
for it. Yeah,
yeah. For everybody out there to share that information, do not fall for that.
yeah.
So here's another question: if you were a business owner, and say, for example, you'd had to from when this started and then now,
Uh huh.
you'd had to lay off an employee, and that employee filed an unemployment, and then you're filing for this type of a loan, the disaster loan.
Hmm.
How does that impact that employer's application?
So that depends on how long the employee worked for the employer. Depends also depending on the size of the employer. But I believe, as far as the unemployment benefits package, it's just a matter of how long has the employee been employed, and if the person was actually laid off, furloughed, or terminated. And also it also depends on what kind of reasons or what are the grounds for termination. So it still depends on the state rules as far as the unemployment.
Okay, so on this SBA,
Uh-huh.
is this open for all, or is there a way for them to call a broker or their bank? Where do they go to apply?
So here's the thing. So if you want a bigger loan, I know Bank of America is doing it. I know Chase is also doing some PPP. So every time that you guys are trying to retrieve the loan outside of what you guys applied for on the SBA, I think what happens is once you submit a loan to SBA, they will disperse it to the actual, mortgage loan, any loan originators, any banks that originates a loan. But if you currently bank, if you're a business owner right now and you currently bank with a SBA certified, you can actually go up to them directly and they will provide you an information. But like I said, there's still a lot of I'm not sure, but I think this might crash the economy even worse because there's not enough guidance. And I believe the big banks are actually pulling back on it because they're scared of fraud because the
Mhm.
IRS just did not provide any guidance on it. There's no underwriting, there's no collateral. And even if you have a bad credit, they would still give you a loan as long as you are in business. That's how lenient it is right now. But we won't know. We probably have more information tomorrow.
So they won't pull. Say if I apply, they won't pull my credit to see if I
They
can get
won't, yeah,
qualified for this
yeah.
loan. So
They
even
won't.
anybody can
Up to
actually.
200,000. Up to
Right.
200,000. Yeah.
Right. And that's because they lifted that guideline because of
Yeah.
the COVID pandemic.
On top of that, because it's a government backed loan. So because it's government backed, the banks basically have to go by what the government says.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So it's scary times. I mean, we could all stimulate the economy, but on the long run, I don't know if it's really going to benefit the
Harm.
economy or not.
Yeah. See, this is what I've been preaching as well too, because I'm in the real estate industry, and this forbearance business,
Yeah.
right? People are
Yeah.
excited. Oh, I'm not gonna make my mortgage payment for 3 months, and
Yeah.
they don't know the impact on that one on their personal statement. What happens is that
Yeah.
after the 3 months period of time, you need to pay that in one big lump sum. Will you have that money then? So they don't know that. And so what happens
Yeah.
is you have now they owe 3 months of deferred payment plus
Yeah.
1 month that's to be current. So
Yeah.
say
Because
if,
if yeah,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
So if your mortgage is 2,000, right? You have to come up with 8 grand that fourth month to
Yeah.
come up
Yeah.
still
Exactly.
on top of it. So if
And
you
it's like,
don't, yeah,
then I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say, if you're like in a bad financial situation now, 3 months later, it's not gonna get any better.
You're gonna be deeper under, right? And it's gonna be really hard
Yeah.
to pick yourself back up. So this loan is specifically to help the business owners bridge from here to whenever
Yeah.
this is over, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
they should not abuse
Yeah. Yeah.
this loan, right? And if they
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
need it, it's the same thing as forbearance. If they don't need it, don't do it because
Yeah. Yeah.
it could help somebody else
Yeah.
who potentially needs it more than you do, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it also would help, especially now. I would again reiterate is independent contractors can also apply for this, even if
Correct.
there is
Correct.
no brick and mortar, right? If even
Correct.
if
Yeah.
there's if even if they don't have any employers or employees,
Yes. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So independent
so they're
contractors are considered sole proprietors. So yeah, on the tax matter, they do qualify for it. But here's what I'll say though. I mean, the loans are maybe a little bit dangerous, but I would say go ahead and abuse the $10,000. Go at least get
yeah,
your $10,000.
if,
Yeah.
if you get it, it's free money, right?
It's
Am
free
I right?
money. Here's what I'll say. It
So
becomes
you
a big
paused on
it,
that. Did I lose you?
no, no, no. So here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say to that. If it becomes a loan, it becomes a forgivable grant. That's what I'll say.
What happened, but we caught him there.
Oh, there you go. There you're back.
There,
So I was gonna say the 10,000 is a forgivable loan. It
okay.
becomes a grant once you use it for rent, payroll, and fixed debt obligations. So a good example is, say, assuming you are a landlord, right? So one example is you're a landlord. Your landlord is in a L. Your rental property is in an LLC. Your tenants can't pay rents right now, right? So that's an example of fixed debt obligation. You have to make your mortgage payment, but you have missed rent payments. You can use that $10,000 and you could put that money into that fixed debt obligation, right? So let's say you're a consultant, or like you right now, you have an office, right? You have an office to pay, but because we're so limited on what we can do, we can only see clients on the webcam. You could use the $10,000 to pay your office rather than using your reserve,
Well,
right?
if people
Rather than using your emergency fund.
in the same spot as me, I would need that because even if I'm not in the office, I called
Yeah,
my landlord, and lo
yeah,
and behold, I am not exempt from my
yeah,
payments. So I still need
yeah,
to make those payments.
yeah.
There's also a question from the entertainment industry,
Uh-huh.
the musicians. How would they, navigate the system? Are they qualified? Can they apply?
It
What?
depends how they filed in the past. I know a lot of musicians, or some people in my that are my clients in the entertainment industry. They're part of Screen Actors Guild, Writers Guild. I know they each have their own separate fund for, number one, for unemployment, and number two, if you're a musician, how have you filed your taxes in the past, right? Were you given a W-2 or were you given a 1099? If you were given a 1099, you had to file a Schedule C sole proprietor. You can qualify for the $10,000, right? It is a relief for you, and then at the same time, there is this. I wrote this somewhere because I've been doing this for myself, because obviously I have my own business, right? So if you're a musician that's self-employed, obviously you can't do shows right now, right?
Yeah.
Because that's their main source of income. You can apply for the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. This is unemployment for self-employed people. So that's not just for musicians. So everybody that are self-employed or anybody in the gig economy, you don't have a W-2, you can apply for this. So part of what I'm doing for myself is, one, I have a corporation for my tax company, so I applied for a loan for that. I have a Schedule C. I received several 1099s from different vendors, different insurance companies, right? So with that also, I'm applying the $10,000, right? So this is just an example for a specific individual. And then on top of that, because I have some W-2s, or I payroll myself, I qualify for the stimulus check of $1,200 also. So imagine that as a one person, if you're an entrepreneur or you're a sole proprietor, and you have a corporation, you could get up to $21,200 in relief. So if you have more questions on that, you have to ask your tax preparer or whoever is the person assisting you on that. But that's a personal strategy for myself.
Okay. Do they need the help of an accountant in order to apply for any types of these loans that you mentioned?
Um, the only reason that they would need one is because maybe they're not familiar with what they filed. So contact your accountant or your tax preparer as far as what you filed. And at the same time, they should be assisting you in filling out the loans, because they ask you there for specific forms, right? And maybe you don't know the answer to that, or whatever was your gross revenue for the year. Maybe get in touch with them. Right? Time you have to get in touch with them, because if you go to actual SBA bank, SBA loan certified bank, they will require you sometimes to get some sort of paperwork. Maybe you need to contact your accountant and say, hey, I need to get your Schedule C. So for instance, for the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Program, before you can apply for that and actually qualify for it, the 2000 you're gonna need the loan originator is gonna ask for a copy of your Schedule C. And if you don't have that, you have to contact your tax preparer.
Somebody asked, what's the name of the relief loan? Joy Shackelford, I think this is your question. Is the SBA's Economic Injury Disaster Loan Basics, but Jeremiah also mentioned a few others, which was the payroll. What was that? The relief, Jeremiah, or the
Payroll
other
protection program.
Yeah,
The payroll protection program. Yeah.
payroll protection program, the
Yeah.
economic.
So the payroll protection program. Yeah.
And then for the self-employed,
The economic disaster loan.
and for the independent contractors, is the same.
The self-employed unemployment is called. Yeah, all the same. It's all the EIDL, the EIDL.
Okay, got it. What if there are there's some business owners unfortunately have not filed for the last 2 years? Are they still eligible to apply? They haven't filed for 2017.
Here's the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So here's why you need to get in touch with your accountant. Because sometimes if once you've applied for the loan, they will deny you because you don't have any sort of paperwork. You're gonna have to file your taxes immediately to qualify for the loan relief. So you have to do it as fast as possible or as soon as possible.
Most of the accounting offices are closed right now. How will they file? What are the methods to file?
Well, there's depending on your income, you can go online. You could go to TurboTax.
Okay.
I believe TurboTax is open. H&R Block is open, or you could contact me. We are a little behind though, so I mean because of the loans, we have a lot of clients coming in, but we're still doing virtual tax appointments. So we're a little bit ahead. So we're on the we're on the cutting edge.
Jeremiah, what is your company name or a phone number so I can put it up here on the screen for them?
The company name is PNE Tax Group LLC. We are in Glendale. The contact number is 323-552-8769. They could send me a message there. They could text me if they have any questions. I am my best to respond as fast as possible. But yeah, that's the best way to contact us. We are in Glendale, but we do virtual tax, so it's okay.
What is the appointment wait time for your company to do a virtual tax consulting?
We try to do a fast turnaround. It just depends on what the availability is. So the best way is get in touch with us now, and we can see what we have available. And depending on how urgent your situation is, we're gonna probably rush your case. And the beauty of it right now too is IRS have put a stop on any collection activities, meaning if you owe money or if they're about to take your home because of the coronavirus, they're not going to take your home, right? So there's a lot of leniency right now until July, at least until July, that there's no any collection activities.
Yeah, and unless that they extend that again, they're not in danger of anything. I think
Yeah,
even the eviction processes and the short sale processes, foreclosure processes are all suspended at the moment until all of the restrictions have been lifted. Right,
foreclosures are also suspended. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well,
Yep, that's
it's
correct. No, if
let's
you're a delinquent taxpayer, there's no foreclosures.
now it's the time to catch up on those delinquent tax returns. Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Now
put
is a
your
good time. Yeah.
did I put your information correctly down on the crawler there? I put your phone number, and is it P and E or P
It
and?
does it.
Do you see that there?
That's fine. Yeah, it's usually the it's just the yeah, yeah, I do see it. It's correct. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. And I'm gonna put your information on the recordings that I'm gonna place for this interview. But also, this is going to be a shout out to
Yeah.
everybody who's on our interview here, watching us live. Some of them will be watching this after because they have some other webinars or some work kind of related thing to be on. But they're looking forward to hearing from you, and
Yeah.
hopefully we can do this again if we compile enough questions that that would suffice for another interview. We'll bring you back to answer those.
Yeah.
If you get your $10,000, can you please let us know so that we can do a follow up on how they're doing it?
I will. I will. I'll be jumping up and down. I'll be jumping up and down for that
I
free
know
money.
we all need it. I
But
mean,
you know what? I actually wanna say that also. Sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh no, no, I was gonna say that if people have some, if they watch the interview, if they have some more questions, they could just type in the comment section, and I'll happily respond to that.
I know, and make sure you call. You will be receiving a call from Fred, which is our membership department for our Philem Chamber of Commerce of South Bay, because we want to have you on our members
Yeah.
platform. So we can put you in our website. See, that's kind of kind of like a pool for you to join us. We currently do not have, well, if we do have them, they're not very actively helping our members right now, our business owners. We are
Yeah.
Filipino American Chambers of Commerce of South Bay, Los Angeles area, and we were glad to
Hmm.
have you, even if not now. When all of this is over, we want to have you in one of our workshops to help us navigate this, the
Yeah,
system.
that'll be yeah.
It's really difficult for us to for business owners to be the CEO, the executive officer, the janitor, the bookkeeper, the customer
Yeah.
service related person. At the end of the day, we still have to do an accounting. It is really crippling. It's a crippling task for a small business owner,
Yeah.
especially restaurant owners. How do you think
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
can manage? To keep up a restaurant, get all their inventories in, get all the food in, and get time to do their accounting. It's a tedious task, and we would like to have somebody who can help our members. So would like to have you on our
Oh yeah,
roster,
absolutely.
and then that
Yeah.
way we can put your information up on our website, because people do search for it in our website. We have a nice directory that people like to search on, and if not, they ask me, hey, who do you know who can do this for me, who can help me do this. And I mean, I know you, and I don't endorse people if I don't know them personally.
Yeah.
And so I've known you for a while now. I know you're a caring person, and you care for the people. Not It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you can give for them. So this is why I have a very great fondness, and that I don't think that needs to be said. But I think we got you here long enough. But we're gonna do it again if we have enough questions.
Yeah.
Then watch out for the repeat or the what do you call that, the video of this on our site and on our
Yeah.
my timeline, and I'll tag it to your timeline. And maybe if we get further questions, I'll just forward it to you, and maybe you can help them out that way.
Yes, yeah, sounds good. And I just want to say the feeling is mutual. I also have a lot of respect for you, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's been great, and I finally figured out how to do this interview thing, because the last time I did it, it was a it was a disaster. But thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. This was easy. So come see
Yeah,
us
yeah,
again,
yeah.
and
Thank you, thank you.
make sure you join us for our Casino Royale. It's our gala, and right now we have it for July.
Okay.
It's up in the air because of what's going on right now. But once we do have them, we would like to have you
Yeah.
and join us for our festivities, because I know people will be wanting to do something after this, right? They'll be cooped up in their homes, so we'd party, would celebrate with co-business
Right on,
owners.
right on. That's
Yeah.
right.
And
I
it's
know.
a casino kind of setting.
I'm gonna try to look. I'm gonna try to look good too. I
Yes,
need
and
to
you
get
have
a haircut and get groomed
oh,
like you.
you don't really need to do much. You really look good. But maybe lose the
Uh,
crowd, no?
oh.
All right, thanks again. It's
Yeah.
been a pleasure, and we're gonna
Thank
do it.
you. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. We will. We will. Be safe. Be safe. Bye bye.
Be safe. Bye bye.